Hello, welcome back. So, one of my projects for this year that's going to span the entire year is to declutter my whole house. So, if you watched my New Year's chat video, I kind of touched on this, but what I did was last summer, I thought in my head that I could declutter my whole house over the summer. So I thought, you know, I've got like 12, 13 weeks while the kids are off of school. They can help me. This will be great. I'll do like a week for each space. That seemed like plenty of time. It wasn't. That was completely stupid. I got derailed very quickly when I got to my daughter's room because we were decluttering, and then I was like, well, her room needs to be painted and I can rearrange the furniture and I don't know, whatever else there was. And so then I threw myself into a different project, painting her room, which turned out to take up the whole summer. I don't even think it was done before school started. But shortly after that it was like the second week of school, we got her back in her room. It was a big mess. I shouldn't have done it like that. So what I'm doing this year now is being a little more realistic. I broke my house up into 12 different areas, and I'm taking 1 month for each area and working on decluttering, deep cleaning, I guess. And I only say that because decluttering and cleaning and tidying are all different things, apparently. So, where I'm starting for the year is my living room. I have decluttered my living room a couple times, and every time I do it, I want to go further. So I figured if I start in this area, it's nice and easy. I've already done it. I've got a little bit of confidence in that area. So I figured we'll do that. So let's go to the video. What I'm showing you is hanging my Christmas decorations. I know that it's February, but a lot of stuff happened at the end of last year. I never got to post decorating my house, and I really wanted to. So we decorated it. Now we're going to undecorate it and start decluttering the living room. Sometimes things get crazy, and that's okay. I did film this video in January, so I'm not still taking down Christmas decorations in the middle of February, but it does take a long time to put this junk together into a video, so it was down before the end of January. But you know what? If you want to leave your Christmas decorations up all year long, it doesn't bother me. So my plan with Christmas, before life got crazy, was to go through my decorations and get rid of all the junk that I don't use or I don't like or whatever. I had stocking hangers. So when we moved into this house, we have a fireplace now, and I've never had that. And I was like, oh, I need some stocking hangers for the fireplace. We've never used them. I made the stockings for my whole family, and they're huge because that's the way it is. That's what my mom did when we were kids. We all had these huge stockings because it accommodated anything she wanted to put in there, and she didn't have to worry about it. And that's what I did too. And I love them, and they're cute. But if I hung them on the fireplace and then used the fireplace, my house would probably catch on fire. So I'm not going to hang them there. Plus, they would block the whole view of the fireplace. So the stocking hangers are completely useless, and they gotta go. And then there's a few other things in there where it's like, I'm never going to put this out. It was a fleeting thing I bought or I was given or whatever. But my point is, so I was going to go through those decorations, and what they say is like, if you aren't using it, really evaluate it, or if you haven't used it in a couple years or whatever. So I was going to do that. I didn't because of just life that I don't want to get into. But what I'm doing is just packing everything away. And then when I put it out again for next Christmas, I'm going to really go through everything and decide what I like, what I don't like, and what I'm keeping, because I have a ton of Christmas decorations, and it's fine if I'm using them. I have no problem storing a ton of Christmas decorations, but if I'm not using it, I hate opening up the totes and having to push past all the junk that I don't use anymore or I don't like, or whatever. So that's my plan going forward. I did just end up packing everything up because I know firsthand that Goodwill, if you give them out of season stuff, a lot of times they just throw it out. So I didn't want to send a bunch of Christmas stuff there. My Goodwill does keep a very small Christmas section almost year round, I think. But if it's full, I don't want them just throwing away stuff because it's the wrong season. So I packed it up. I will open it up and go through it next holiday season, and I'll deal with that then. But then we get to the living room, and I am doing wipe downs of everything. I started going through all the stuff. The cats have to check out everything. They're so funny. I've got like paperwork that I keep in that little table that you're looking at, and I keep my shredder back there so that it's like the current box of paperwork that I'm working on and the shredder, and it's all ready to go. And I don't know, I'm losing my train of thought now, watching myself put plants up and dance around.
I see the chair everywhere. I see a chair everywhere. I see the chair everywhere. I see the chair everywhere.
I want to see.
Don't touch my phone.
I want to see.
Ooh, what's that? Popcorn?
Yes, this is popcorn.
Are you putting popcorn in this food?
It's not popcorn.
Is I'm going to fill it up?
Yep.
Hey, can you fill mine people?
We'll see how much stuff I have. Oh, this is another thing. So I'm trying to work on getting projects done that I've been putting off. I have a bad habit of starting projects or planning projects and then never getting to them or never completing them. And so there's just all these things. Like I have a lot of craft projects. That's the big one, where I started it or I bought all the stuff for it and I never finished it. And I really don't like that about myself. And so this was a simple one. I ordered these, well, it's beanbag filler, but it's like a bunch of cut up memory foam, and helped my older daughter fill her beanbag. She had the actual like styrofoam beans to fill it with. And this tube trick worked really well for that. We could just pour them right in and it didn't make any mess. It was really great. This memory foam did not work the same way, so we ended up stuffing it into this beanbag with my back scratcher, which I'm happy it didn't break. But it didn't, it was really nice. Like it's comfy and it filled up the beanbag really nice, but didn't go in like I wanted it to. But this was one of the projects on my list, and I just thought, you know what? It's part of the living room. He uses it in the living room. Although now that I'm sitting out here, I don't see it anywhere, so I don't know what he did with it. But it is just a project on my mental list that I want to get rid of. I want to get rid of all of the mental clutter and the ongoing lists and the to-dos, the invisible stressors and the visible stressors, I suppose. If anybody knows what I'm talking about, you get it. If you know, you know. It's just something that weighs on your mind, and every time he would try to use his beanbag, he's falling into it and complaining because he couldn't actually sit on it, and it just breaks my heart because then it makes me feel like I'm a failure, and why can't I just fill his beanbag? So anyways, I filled his beanbag and he was really happy about it. I think that I'll have enough of that memory foam crap to do the other two kids' beanbags, and then hopefully I will have enough so I don't have to order more. But if I don't, I guess I'll just order more. But I haven't done theirs yet. Wow, so much nicer. There you go. It's like an actual chair again. Nice? You love it? Good. So these cube organizers are nice. I think that they look really nice. I think that if they're not organized well, they get kind of junky. And I made the mistake, since we got them, of trying to store things on top of them. and I watch a lot of Minimal Mom. I really like her. At first, I was like, this is ridiculous and she doesn't even have any stuff and, whatever. But as I kept watching her, I really like her. I think she's a sweet lady and she's really on point with her ideas and how she manages things. I don't know why I'm going on about her, but anyways. So one of the things she talks about is like keeping your flat surfaces clean. And basically what I get out of it is don't use your flat surfaces as a storage area. So it was difficult to kind of transition into that because it's a flat surface and you put stuff on it. So it's a storage area. So I had to be mindful about what I was keeping. I went through all the books. I went through all the coloring books. I went through all the like activity books, painting books, whatever. Got rid of all the junk, the ones that he doesn't like, doesn't play with, and sorted everything out. And then these black cases are like movie cases. Because long ago, back when discs were still a thing, DVDs, I took all the DVDs out and put them into these cases so I could get rid of the plastic cases because that was my form of decluttering back then, which was fine. But I brought the cases up here in the upstairs living room because I thought, well, I wanted to sort them. My son helped me sort through a bunch of them. And then I stored them up here thinking we were going to use them. Now we have once or twice, but they don't need to be up here. Like, we don't use them enough to warrant me utilizing that space for those. So I took those all back down to the basement, or I probably made one of the kids do it. I don't know. But I just need to be really intentional about what I'm keeping in the spaces in those cubes because I don't have a ton of space. And, my son has a basket of books and a basket of coloring books, and then he's got all of his toys and stuff, and all that lives out in the living room because he doesn't have a bedroom of his own. So I just have to be intentional and keep the clutter down. Anyways, this is just taking down the Christmas tree. I wanted to rearrange a bit because we had this big Lego table, and I thought at the time when I'm filming this that I would put it behind this black chair and the kids would use it and go back there, and it would be out of the way because it's kind of big and clunky, but still functional. That I'm already regretting. This was probably, I don't know, a few weeks ago when I did this. They have not touched that Lego table since then. And I organized all the Legos, I cleaned everything out, I went through all the puzzles, and they haven't touched it. Not one time I can remember. And I'm going to have to find a different spot for that because I think that being hidden back behind the chair, there's not a ton of space back there. And in my head, I thought they could just move the chair and play back there, but that was a terrible idea. I don't know what I was thinking. It certainly didn't help to make my space better other than visually it looks better, I guess. But I'll have to change that. But I did go through all of his toys. I've been through his toys a few times. I've decluttered them. I keep going a little bit further, which is another thing that Minimal Mom talks about is, taking things a little bit further and doing it again and whatever. So I did that again. So I think one of my plans with what I'm doing, it's 12 spaces in 12 months. And at the end of the year, I'm hoping that my house is so utterly decluttered that I can clean the whole thing in less than a half hour. I don't know if that's realistic. I probably won't go into the bedrooms and clean every day. But if I can get the main area cleaned up in less than a half hour, that's worlds better than I'm doing now. So I think that when I finish the next space, I'm going to do just a quick little recap of this first space of the living room and just kind of see if I can maybe take it a little bit further. Maybe I can adjust something else if I've made space in another area. Just kind of touch base and see what's working for us and what isn't. It has been a couple weeks since I finished this project. I was done with this first one by the end of January, so I am working on the next one right now. And I can already tell you that the Lego table is not working, like I mentioned. The charging station that I'll show you is wonderful. I love that. It's a metal file rack, and I had my husband hang it in the living room. and the kids put all their tablets and electronics on there. That is phenomenal. I love it. It's so functional, and it gets the junk out of my bedroom off the side table, so that's really great. And then I had him put up a shelf, which we had a shelf next to the TV where we kept what did we have up there? I can't even remember what we had up there. It was just junk. And so he hung this shelf, and now the Xbox is up there, and then we have these controller hangers, and those look really nice. He set it up really nice. So that's up and out of the way. That is phenomenal. He hung the sound bar for the TV because he's got like a surround sound system. And that's great. It's off my blanket table. It was sitting on a TV stand, and then I swapped that out for this like table chest thing, and I used that for blankets. So then when we needed to get blankets, the sound bar was sitting on top of it, and it was kind of a pain in the butt. But now I have a place to put the blankets, and the sound bar is mounted. And then what else did we do? Oh, I had him hang a couple plant tables because I'm a plant addict, and I wanted another place for them. Before, they were cluttering things up because I had like 50 of them up on the fireplace, and then I had them on all my flat surfaces, and I put them just wherever they could go, and I'm trying to get away from that. So that's really nice. They look really pretty. I'll pop in a picture of those at some point. Wow, look at those fish swimming. So all of this stuff is really functional so far, except the Lego table, and I think that we're probably going to have to take that all the way out of here because we're talking about getting another couch, because we literally don't even have enough spots for the amount of people in the family, which is ridiculous. And we're not always all home at the same time, so it's like fine. But, sometimes we all want to watch a movie, and then somebody's like sitting on the fireplace, or my husband will stand, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. So we're on a mission for another couch. And the Lego table isn't going to fit in that space if we get another couch. So that's kind of the working plan. But I'll try to touch base in these like spaces, like the past spaces, when I get to the next one, just to see how everything's functioning. Because one of the things that I'm kind of finding out about decluttering, Minimal Mom says it, other people that I've watched declutter say the same thing. It's not like a one and done. It's not like you declutter your space and it stays decluttered and everything's fine forever. You have to like maintain it and keep up with it and come back and do a little more and, check on things periodically. So I'm hoping that by doing these videos and by posting these things, it'll help keep me accountable, and it'll help keep me keeping things in check, if that makes sense. Also, what I've noticed, and if you've done any kind of decluttering, let me know if you've noticed this as well. I'm kind of becoming a little bit protective of my spaces. Like right now, I'm looking around my living room, and it's bothering me that there's stuff that's out of place. It's like midnight and everybody's asleep, and I'll probably just clean it up before I go to bed. But like the kids, they leave their snack wrappers, and now I'm getting after them a little more. Grab your stuff, grab your dishes, pick up your garbage. Whereas before I was like, whatever, I'll just do it myself. And now I'm like, get your crap out of here. This is a clean space. We're not junking this up. Everybody has to pitch in. And they're probably getting sick of listening to me. However, this is my clean space. This becomes like your safe space when you declutter, and you want more of it. And I'm almost like craving wanting to declutter more, and it's hard because I don't have the time or energy to just declutter the whole house all at once. I really have to manage my expectations. I still have 4 kids. I still have a lot of things going on. So it becomes kind of a juggling act, which is also why I like that I gave myself basically a month for every space. And if it goes a little quicker, like this living room, I knew this would be an easier win for me, and I would get something done under my belt because I've done this space a couple times, and it was just a matter of like touching it up. Oh, this door was filthy. I scrubbed this down, but I couldn't film it because my camera was dead, but it looks so much better. But yeah, so what was I talking about? Oh, so yeah, like manage your expectations and do what you're capable of doing. And, don't don't try to do too much because it just gets overwhelming and then you get frustrated and then it's like, no, I'm a failure and all that fun stuff. And then you just get down on yourself. Instead, give yourself the extra time and plan some easy wins. If you need to declutter the bathroom, that's probably the easiest space that I personally can think of because there's not like furniture and toys and all that junk. So maybe that's the best place to start. I don't know. But I'll pop in a few pictures here of just, the shelves and the cute things and just show you the after of the living room. I'm really happy with everything. I think it all turned out really nice, and I just am tweaking a few things here and there. As I'm looking right now, I know that there's a few more baskets that I need to get just because some things aren't actually in baskets in these cube organizers. And a couple of the baskets broke, so I've got to replace some of those. And then I think that's it. I think everything else is kind of accounted for or whatever. But yeah, so that's the decluttering of the living room. This is space 1 of 12 spaces in 12 months. And I hope you join me for space 2. I'm halfway through it now, and I think it's going pretty well, and I'm pretty happy with it. So I will catch you next time, and thanks for watching. Bye.